Hi guys, my name is Elia. I have a maniacally caring mother, or as they call it, a hyper-demanding one. You say that's what parents are like, but there's one thing. My mom is over the top. I'll tell you exactly how, and you can like and comment below the video. I used to have a brother. Well, I still do. He's 7 years older than me, and his name is Bill. My dad left the family years ago, and we never even thought about him. It wasn't until after he left that something changed. Mom. I've heard that adult divorce is a complicated topic, and we won't understand. I also heard my mom and Bill fight a lot. She kept screaming that he was never home, that she was having a hard time and he was going to leave her. Bill had his own life and a girlfriend after all, but Mom wouldn't accept that. My brother's patience eventually snapped and he left. He packed his things and left a note that he was going far away with his girlfriend, but he didn't say exactly where. For my mother, it was the second blow after my father. She cried for a few months, called herself a bad mother. I saw her pain, but I understood my brother's side too. He and I had a rigid schedule, but since I was younger, I didn't care. Go to school, have an hour to walk, and then go home. Bill was a big boy. He needed his own space, especially since he was already working, giving my mom money. Like, what else did she need? But my mom was going crazy. After Bill left, everything intensified, and the powder spilled out on me. Now every time I talked to someone on the phone, she would ask who it was, why I was talking so long, why I was hiding in the other room. That's when I realized it was all bullshit. Every day my mother woke up for work, checked my bag, whether my homework was done, then she'd take my phone without asking and demand that I put in the password. Otherwise, she threatened to take it away from me. It got on my nerves and made me angry. Elia, what time are your lessons today? I'll be back after 4. And what are you going to do for the other 2 hours? What do you mean? You have class until 2. I called a teacher, so I found out. Do you have any secrets from me? What are you hiding? Oh, Mom, we just wanted to go for a walk with Nada. Why didn't you tell me right away? Or are you lying that you wanted to go out with your friend? Maybe you already have a boyfriend? Mom, what are you talking about? Go on, date, fall in love, then leave me, like your worthless father and brother did. Stop talking about it all the time, Mom. Will you always remind me of them? Why? I have the right. You're my daughter. But not your property. Oh yeah? And who supports you? Who gave birth to you? That's it. I'm going. Come home for dinner. I was out of my mind with anger, and I went out with my friend anyway. I cried and told her about my mom, and Natalie listened, and it was comforting. I called Bill. He and I talked periodically. He listened too, and then said that if I got completely fed up, I could come to live with him and Mary. Are you serious? Well, yes, we have a small but cozy apartment. Besides, she won't mind. She understands that Mom is complicated, so we're ready to take you in. Thank you. I'll let you know if anything happens. I got home after 4 p.m., as I had planned. Mom was already waiting with a disgruntled face. We argued, and I told her in the end that I was going to leave her for my brother soon if she didn't stop controlling me. That was a blow to her. I didn't want to hurt her, but I was freaking out from the horror that was going on. Mom cried for a long time, then went to make dinner. After a while, she called me in to eat, pretending that nothing had happened. I apologized for my behavior, and she just said it was okay. At dinner, I suddenly felt nauseous and dizzy, and my mom ran up to me and started hugging me and asking what was going on. And then, just as I was about to pass out, she gave me an injection and said it would help me, and I fell asleep. In the morning, I felt better, but my mother seemed strange. She smiled, didn't get on my nerves, didn't ask where I was going and what I was going to do, with who, what, when. All this was, well, very different for her. I mean, how can a person change so drastically overnight? Bill said that maybe she was just afraid of losing me, so she decided to change. And then he joked that if my mom became normal, he would come back too. After a couple of days, I started coming home later and later, and then I asked to go to Nada's birthday party, and Mom let me go. In the middle of the party, I met a guy. His name was Alex, and we had a nice conversation and went out into the yard to talk in silence. As soon as he wanted to kiss me, my mom called and asked me to come home. Alex and I decided to go on a date. I told my mom that I was going to stay at Nada's house, and I went for a walk with him myself. It was a wonderful day. We had a good time and we had fun. In the evening, he wanted to kiss me again, but then my mom called again. I was so mad, and on top of that, Alex said he was leaving for another state. I got upset, and I called my brother again, and he said, "Come over for the vacation. We live in the same state anyway." Really? What should I tell Mom? Tell her Dad showed up. She doesn't talk to him anyway. Well, think of something. Oddly enough, it worked. My mom let me go on vacation for 3 days, and I couldn't believe my luck. I went out with Alex, and finally, he kissed me. We drove over to my brother's house for a triple tour with his girl. In the evening, he had a barbecue to celebrate my arrival. Bill opened the wine, we sat and ate, and then a familiar voice was heard from behind us. "Well, settled in, I see, kids?" Bill and I would have recognized that voice out of 1,000. I turned around and saw my mom. I gasped. Bill jumped up from his chair, but Mom was so calm. Sit, I won't disturb you." "Mom, how are you here?" "It's good to see you too, son." "Mom, it's just, how did you get here? Were you tapping my phone?" "A mother's heart feels everything." "Oh, you're Bill's girlfriend, the one who stole my son, huh? And you're Alex, who also steals my daughter, right?" The evening was quickly deteriorating. Bill took my mother to talk, and I heard the familiar screams. When I walked up to them, Mom was hysterical. She was accusing my brother and me for making her life a failure, that our father was a complete asshole, and that she was a poor, miserable woman whom everyone was abandoning. We understood that she needed medical help. Our mother had been deeply stressed and depressed for years, and while I was trying to calm her down, Bill called an ambulance. I hugged my mom and cried too. I felt sorry for her. She was stroking my arm, and then I felt a pain, and only then did I notice that there was a small lump sticking out of my arm. "Didn't you give me an injection there?" "Yeah." "What did you inject me with?" "A chip." "What? Have you been tracking me with it?" "Yes, I was tracking your every move. But how can you not understand that I did it for you, for your own good?" "What good, Mom? You're suffocating me with your control. You're not afraid of losing me. You're afraid of being alone. But we're your children, not your pets or friends. You can't keep us by force. We have lives of our own." Mom roared even more. Bill brought her water and then quietly and calmly said that we loved her very much and wished her well, and that's why we went to all this trouble. The paramedics came out of the parked ambulance. Mom fought back, didn't want to go, cursed me and Bill, but they took her and we followed. At the hospital, they took my chip out too. The doctor said it was a miracle it hadn't hurt me at all, but it would leave a small scar. But it doesn't matter. The doctor diagnosed her with lingering depression, panic attacks, insomnia, stress, and a bunch of phobias. All of this had to be treated with both medication and therapy. My brother and I agreed, and my mother was left in the hospital. 6 months have passed since then, no less. We visit her often, and she's gotten much better. No, Mom doesn't look like the psychos from the movies. She's alive and even joyful. There is still a lot of work to do ahead, but she finally realized that we love her, for real, like children love their mother. On our last visit, she apologized to us for her behavior and attitude, and admitted guilt. That was great progress. Bill and I sold the old house and bought one next door so my mom and I could live in a new place. And now we're all together. She was glad to hear that and gave her consent. There's no excuse for what Mom did. She was out of line. Do you guys think there was any other way out? And what would you advise my brother and I to do? What would you have done yourself? Write your opinion in the comments. I'm waiting. Tell me, guys, did you like my story? Don't forget to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.